Wisconsin is still counting the cost of last week's historic storms. Our Wisconsin State Capitol Bureau Chief Vanessa Kelson tells us the strategy the governor is using to get help.
As Wisconsin begins its path to recovery, Governor Tony Evers is already urging Wisconsin's congressional delegation to start having conversations with the Trump administration to convey the importance of FEMA assistance. Extensive storms rocked Wisconsin. In Rock County, an elementary school is closed after being flooded. And across the state, 25 tornadoes touched down last week.
We have pretty widespread damage, really in most areas of the state.
These historic storms come after August's 1,000-year floods in Wisconsin. FEMA approved homeowner relief funds then, but denied Governor Evers' request for more than $26 million to support public assistance and hazard mitigation for 6 impacted counties. Now, in a letter to Wisconsin's congressional delegation, Evers writes, "It would be unfortunate if Wisconsin's anticipated requests for emergency assistance are once again declined."
It's never too early to start conversations, and we appreciate the support from wherever it comes to getting the assistance to the communities of Wisconsin.
We don't know if Wisconsin will request federal assistance yet. Greg Engel, a Wisconsin emergency management administrator, says some communities likely won't complete their damage assessments until early next week.
We don't believe we're actually done with this incident because we still have rivers at major flood stage.
Engel says once we do reach the end of this event, a 30-day timer starts for Evers to reach out to FEMA and ask for federal help. While we're waiting for damage assessments to be completed, Rock County is encouraging impacted homeowners to contact their insurance early. Start a claim, ask what you are required to do or not to do, ask about temporary housing or emergency coverage, and to not throw out major items until approved. From Madison, Vanessa Kelson.
Vanessa, thank